Everything just fell perfectly into place for this Pelicans player to step up and showcase that he deserves a spot in the rotation next season. Could Jordan Hawkins be the biggest X factor for the Pelicans next season? Let's talk about it inside this edition of Pelicans Digest. What's good with it, everybody? It's your people, Melz on the MIC, back once again inside Pelicans Digest. Thank you so much for sticking with us, and thank you so much for subscribing, man. If you haven't done it yet, you're part of the 70% that haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, baby. And also, go ahead and like and share this video with your fellow Pelicans fans, because it's Melz talking about them Pels, and this is where you get the best analysis, opinions, and more about the New Orleans Pelicans, as we are now starting the countdown on the Pelicans season, less than 50 days away from now, and the Pelicans are still making moves. Breaking news at this hour involving the Pels, and it's another signing that the Pelicans just picked up. His name is Garrison Brooks. Brooks is a 26-year-old player, a forward, who went undrafted in 2022 out of Mississippi State, and he spent most of his career so far being a journeyman. He's played for several different G League teams. He's also played in Korea and also in Euro League. So nothing too big to report here. More than likely just a training camp, Exhibit 10 signing. Nothing real eye-popping about this guy. I think he averaged in double figures when he was in the Euro League, but he also is also on a possible two-way deal. If he could find a way through the roster, which I doubt, because again, the Pelicans already had their 3 two-way contracts filled up already, but depending on how he works out in training camp, he could earn a two-way spot. We'll see, but I doubt it. I think it's more than likely just a body to bring in for training camp to work out and help guys out. So nothing too major on that signing right there. Nothing too big to report about that right there. But today, I wanted to get into a conversation about one of the most, I would say, probably the most polarizing player on this Pelicans roster right now. And that player I'm talking about is Jordan Hawkins. Depending on who you ask in this fan base, some people love his offensive output and his capability, but they also, everybody's seen his defensive weaknesses as well, and they're not too keen on that, especially in certain situations where he's expected to cover some of these guys in the Western Conference. And I'm of the opinion, I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm of the opinion that him and Willie Green ain't getting along. I'm just of the opinion, because there have been games, not just last season, but even the season before that, where we saw Hawkins would get out there and he'll start lighting up the scoreboard, but he'll make one mistake on defense and he's to the bench. Like Willie will immediately send him to the bench. And so that's why I think, with his, as far as how his career started out with New Orleans, I think that's one of the reasons why he's so polarizing with everybody right now. A lot of people think he should be used as trade bait. Him, maybe Alvarado, I don't know. But I'm a fan of Jordan Hawkins. I would like to see Jordan Hawkins develop into something great this season. And I think he has a chance to do that. He has the chance to do that. Now, you may say, well, there's a lot of guards in the room and stuff like that. I still think that Hawkins has the ability to step up and do well. And I'm not the only one that believes that. Liam Willerup, who writes for the New Orleans Pelicans on Sports Illustrated, did an article today on who will be the Pelicans' biggest X factor for the 2025 and 2026 season. And I went into this article thinking he's got to be talking about Herb Jones. Because I'm thinking, that's what I think. I think Herb Jones will be the biggest X factor this season if he can add more offense to his game. If Herb can add 5 to 10 more points a night to his offensive stats, I think he'll be the biggest X factor. But to Mr. Williams' credit, in this article, he talks about Jordan Hawkins being that X factor. And he gives some compelling reasons as to why. This past season with New Orleans, Hawkins shot just 34.6% on 4.2 catch-and-shoot three-point attempts per game. If Hawkins' main offensive weapon is his outside shooting, that's not going to cut it if he wants to carve out a career in the NBA. Okay, and when you look at his numbers last season, again, you got to remember, injury plague. Not everybody was there. So Hawkins of course, had to step up and do some more and had to play some more minutes. But as you can see, he averaged 10 points a game, 2 rebounds a game, 1 assist, which is big. I need him to get more assists. And blocks and steals were never necessarily there, but he did have the 1 turnover per game. Let me say this. That assist is a problem because he doesn't like to pass the ball. If Jordan Hawkins is one of these guys who will go find a corner, stand there and shoot it. And I think that's what has led to a lot of his problems in the league, is that he's not moving. He's just standing there when he should be moving and try to set up some offense for some other guys. That assist thing also bothers me. The fact that he doesn't pass the ball is a problem. But this season he could step up. And Liam Wearup says that in this article, and I agree with this. Even though Hawkins has reduced a true shooting percentage of less than 54% in each of his last 2 seasons, that doesn't mean his chances of becoming a productive player are over. In games last season, where Hawkins played at least 30 minutes, he averaged 21 points per game on 39% shooting from 3. While it didn't translate to winning, it's still a positive takeaway. And again, let me say that I agree with that. That is a very positive takeaway to have. That if you can put him in for 30 minutes and he can give you 20 points, that's phenomenal. That is phenomenal. And that also shows the potential that Hawkins can step up and become a much needed player and much needed factor for this Pelicans team this season. Again, when you consider that you have a stacked guard room with Jordan Poole, with Jeremiah Fears, you got Jose Alvarado there, and you still got Murray. It's going to come down and be contingent upon how Hawkins can handle, I want to say, Murray's minutes. Let's say for example, you're looking at Jordan Hawkins as possibly a player that can take over for Murray's minutes for a couple of games each night, especially early on in the season, or even in training camp. If he could go off and showcase what he's able to do, I think he could earn a spot into this rotation with more minutes and more play. But he's got to work on that defense. As everybody knows, even as I was putting together assets for this video, and I was looking at photos of Jordan Hawkins and gameplay, it's hilarious. I found it hilarious when I was doing this. I seen a bunch of pictures where you can see him. He's 5 feet from the guy, but jumping at him. He's like 5 to 6 feet away from a shooter, and you can see him jumping up and reaching. He's late. So he's already late. The guy's already got the shot up. He's already at his high arch, at his highest point of letting the ball release, and Hawkins is just now trying to get there. I'm not kidding. You can go look at a bunch of photos of Jordan Hawkins in action, and you can see that. Just by photos, you can see that he lacks defensively. So I know that's why he's in Willie's doghouse a lot of the times, because he lets guys get past him. We've seen this in a lot of games. But I do believe that he could be the X factor, and Liam says this as well in his article. Hawkins will have to prove in training camp that he deserves a spot in this rotation, as the 2025-26 season is his chance to prove himself before becoming extension eligible in the 2026 offseason. So, and again, this is what I've been saying before about, not this season, but next season. You put together a roster that is designed to at least try to win this season and next season. And Hawkins can be a big factor in that if he's able to improve some aspects of his game, especially defensively. The other thing I would like to see Jordan Hawkins do is not be so 3 happy. I would like to see him work on a mid-range shot, sort of like how Brandon Ingram was. Brandon Ingram was the mid-range assassin. And I would like to see more of him develop more of that shot in the mid-range outside of his 3 points. I know I like the 3 ball too. Everybody, chicks dig the deep ball. Chicks dig the 3 ball. But I would like to see him be able to get into, the perimeter, inside the 3-point line, and make a bunch of those shots over these guys, because he has the length to do it. The question is, can he be that X factor? I'm still of the argument that Herb Jones could be the X factor on this team. If Herb Jones can add 5 to 10 points per game, I think he could be the X factor. But again, with Hawkins, and I said this before, I don't know what more he has to do to prove other than getting out there and showcasing that he belongs on that floor, and also understanding the defensive side, and also being able to pass the ball, and also develop a more range of shots than just the 3 ball. Okay? Like the article said before, is cool is enough to get you into the league with an outside shot, but you got to have a little bit more development into this game, and hopefully he's been working in that this all season. But I think it was a fascinating story. I think it's a fascinating look, and I also think that I kind of agree with him. Jordan Hawkins could be the X factor this season. What are your thoughts on it, though? Clap back with your thoughts in the comments. Share this video with your folks and let me know what are your thoughts. Who is going to be the biggest X factor for the Pelicans this season? Could it be Jordan Hawkins? Could it be Herb Jones? Could it be Jordan Poole? Some people say it could be Jordan Poole. What are your thoughts? Who is the biggest X factor? Who is the player that nobody's talking about that could step up and help this Pelicans team get into the winning category this season? Clap back with your thoughts and your comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your folks. It's Melz talking about them Pels right here on Pelicans Digest. And I'll catch you later, all right? Y'all have a good one.